is shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. And there are more lyrics, and I ain't gonna sing them.
Hold on, I only know one part of that song by heart, so let me. And that actually, oddly enough, just so happens to be my favorite Christmas song. So
Oh, it is mine too. I might sing it when I'm on my birthday stream.
nice. But let me just do the one part that I know. If you'd be so kind. Hold on, let me get in a let me go grab a cigarette because I'm already shaking just thinking about it. But I fucking love this song and I have to. I have to.
And
Like
that's okay because there's literally nobody watching.
I know this because everybody's in a fucking food coma. Which means Turkey Day was a rousing success. Everybody gobbled and passed the fuck out.
People got
Which
shit to
is what
do,
I
so.
should do, but insomnia. Like I took a nap earlier. Like it was only about an hour, but I still wound up taking a nap.
No, I
Um,
only slept 3 hours, and then I ended up uh, Morning Decay was still on, so I jumped in the chat and harassed the shit out of them
yeah.
because that's what I do.
So let's see. All
I know what part you're going for, so hit it.
right. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night that one kid was born, oh, night divine, all night divine.
Um, you should check out Tevin Campbell's version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best version that I've ever heard. Um, but we kind of used to bastardize this song, and
Oh,
when we'd get to the chorus, it was fall on your knees, and while you're down there, yeah. So yeah,
I like that version. I'm just
Sac-
saying.
sacrilegion, woo! And good morning, everyday man.
Hey, everyday man. See, I'm trying to be quiet, so I can't be. I'm nervous as fuck, but I can't belt it the way that I normally would, and so I went a higher octave than I normally would, and I'm not, and I'm very disappointed, and I'm trying to figure out like what's the best way to get over this like quote unquote stage fright that I'm constantly suffering from.
Oh, my dear, if you were around here, I could cure you of that very simply. Because honestly, uh, the dynamic about doing karaoke in front of people is that most of them are drunk anyway. Most of them don't give a fuck because they're there for the alcohol, so that takes all the pressure off. Legitimately, and there are karaoke whores that exists. For I was one in the late '80s when it first started up, when it really got hot in the United States, and there were people who literally would follow DJs from bar to bar, so they could sing, and because I mean, it was validation. And even if they weren't that good, at least they got the chance to get up in front of somebody and perform. And good morning, Sparky.
Hey, Sparks. Hey, Sparkles. I swear I did wind up coma-ing, by the way. Oh no, Sparky, don't feel defeated. You got this shit, dude. You can remod and remake and blah 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 tech stuff.
Mm, I didn't get to see the end because Saints game.
Mm.
Mm,
So he had to. So there was like an issue where he had to like he's got to retry some part of it. I
not
don't
like
know.
not like retry.
No, 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 no. He
Okay.
didn't he didn't go fucking Sparky. Um he just went he just there was like a mess up. Like I can't explain it. I don't know tech things, but I guess like he couldn't install the mod and one of the components that he had like kind of fucked with the mod that he had, like the mod component.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the best
Well,
explanation you're gonna get
well,
from me.
while I was watching, I kind of guessed that that you weren't very much a tech person. That was just
I
a
am
guess.
I am what I have so accurately dubbed technologically retarded.
Well, no, because I'll be honest. I tuned in. Sparky was talking. Then all of a sudden, I heard your voice, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is she doing on this stream? What? I mean, I mean, you filled dead air great, but
Yeah.
I'm like, are you passing him tools or something?
The tool of my voice to help fill the dead air and to also try and like encourage him to talk about and explain what he's doing and how he's doing it and why and shit like that. Um like I swear there needs to be like a tech thing for dummies like me where it's like all right, so CPU stands for this, and I'm just like cool, so now I understand that when you guys are talking about CPU it stands for this. Still have no idea what this means, but I'm getting closer.
It means cool people united.
Yeah, we're CPUs, yo.
We throwing it down and round. Uh,
Sup bitches.
what was it? Tyro was talking about. He was bitching on Twitter about how he never found anything funny about the phrase "D's nuts" because it
Oh yeah,
never,
I saw that.
it was never a punchline for a joke. And I guess I can fill up a little bit of time and just tell the story real quick. The major lingerie catalog that I worked for, they would invariably always switch around supervisors, and you would end up on a new team, and they wanted to be vibrant and wacky, and they would come up with team names, and the name of my new supervisor, her last name was Dees, and we were in the conference room, everybody on the team sitting there talking about goals and what's our expected meets and all that shit. And she's like, well, can anybody think up a name or anything? And I, me sitting in the back of the room, I'm just like, how about D's nuts?
Hmm.
And a few people kind of giggled, and then and then they turned around and looked at me, and I smiled at them, and they knew I was trolling her. And she was kind of like the suburban white girl who wasn't quite attractive enough to be a cheerleader, but she was rich enough to be part of the color guard, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good morning, Rakist.
Hey, Rakus.
Um, and uh, so she had no fucking clue. So she's like, D's nuts. That sounds great. That's hilarious. And so for about 2 weeks, we were known as D's nuts. And fucking if every, well, let's say this. Half the staff that worked at the catalog was black. You'll find that usually in most call centers, if not more than 50%. And they would pass by, and we had little sign tags up with our names on them, and then the team name underneath. And they would walk by and go, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, isn't it?" and it got around that I was the one who did it. So I was trolling IRL. About 2 weeks later, she comes up and she's pissed, and she's like, "Corporate says we can't do this anymore." I'm like, "Do what? I'm not dating you or anything." And she's like, no, we can't have this team name anymore. And I'm like, okay, did they say why? And she was like, it has something to do with like a song lyric or something from a rap album. And I knew exactly what they were talking about. It was Dr. Dre from The Chronic. Because there's a song in there called D's Nuts. And, and she's like, it's a phrase. And she leaned in and whispered and said, "They say D's nuts in your mouth." and I'm tearing up trying to keep a straight face. I'm like, "Oh, you don't say." Well, I guess we have to change the name. And we ended up becoming D's Destroyers. And I came in with this was even worse too, because I took the logo from the Star Wars Star Destroyers, the symbol of the Empire, and that's what we had as our symbol anymore, instead of a crazy tap dancing peanut. So yeah, I got for a whole week, I got a Fortune 250 company to name one of their teams D's Nuts. Which I'm proud of. I'm very proud of. Good morning as well, Buzz.
Hey, Buzz. The fact that all y'all are even awake right now. Oh, Sparky. Hey, Merc.
Good morning, Merc.
How bad was it, Sparky? Like, Sparky caught on the Snatchcast today.
Oh, Jesus, why? Are you?
I went on Snatchcast the other day, yesterday actually, and it was really chill and really surprising, mostly because of the fact that
I'm pretty sure you're lying.
No, it was actually really, really good. It was generally drama free. Like, I was the one trying to cause the most drama. Samaj was the angriest one. Like, it was so weird. But it was for me, like, at the moment, because I was trying to nap, and someone's like, "Oh, you should watch Snatchcast. It's really like chill right now." I'm like, we'll see. So I was listening to it. I'm like, the fuck? Schmeckel's talking about peace? The fuck is going on?
By the way, I would say that Sparky, it wasn't desperation on their part. It was masochism on your part. So you take that blame and you hug it. You hug it like a big bear. Good morning, Tennessee Marine. Good morning, Turish.
Hey, Torish.
But yeah, I mean, we used to do shit to fuck with corporate every time that they came in. God, we had so much fun with them. Because like they came in and they switched our pay periods from weekly to bi-weekly.
Ooh.
And they were like, well, nothing's going to be wrong. You're still going to make the same amount of money, which is a lie, because the money that we were making, it kicked us up into a higher tax bracket, so it took more. Unless you made certain arrangements like, oh, yes, I have 10 dependents, and then they won't take shit out. But they went through and they explained all of that. Oh, good morning, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
They went through and explained it, and they were like, does anybody have any questions? And I raised my hand, and she's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, can I have a raise? And she kind of looked at me and goes, I think that's something you probably discuss with, when your review comes around. And I was like, well, because I figured since I'm going to be losing money on a biweekly paycheck, that you guys might want to compensate me. And just everybody in the room turned around and looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And there was a couple, most of the sisters in there were just nodding their heads going, mm-hmm. And a couple more people had questions. And she's like, okay, well, anybody else? And I raised my hand. She's like, oh, yes. And I'm like, no, seriously, can I have a raise? And my supervisor came to me afterwards and said, I don't think you should be asking questions anymore when corporate comes in. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to have you just on the phones when when these meetings happen. And I'd already gotten in trouble because there was a suggestion box, and my first suggestion was that we should have one of those airplane rolling bars.
Mm-hmm.
The little push carts that they have on planes, and they liquor you up.
Yeah. Oh, hey, later, Tennessee. Thanks for popping by.
Hey, have a good morning, Tennessee.
So the airplane rolling bars when the liquor carts go by?
So yeah, I was like, yeah, can we get like a rolling liquor cart like they have on airplanes? And it was so funny because, all suggestions are anonymous. And when they pulled that out, somebody up in the front pulled it out because apparently somebody reads suggestions. And for some reason, they showed up right to me. And they said, hey, we don't think you should make any more suggestions.
You troublemaker, Doc. You troublemaker.
I mean, other stuff I was putting in there, and I was like, can we have free cheese Tuesday?
We believe in everyone having a voice at this company. Just not Doc. Doc knows what he did.
Yeah, it's like, you're good. Just nah. And it was funny because like I had the highest rate of production out of anybody. And I would literally have the email amounts that they wanted me to have done within the first 2/3 of my shift. So I legit would like fuck around and play games with people. Like we'd set we'd set up like a tetherball thing. Because our cubicles were all linked together, so I brought in like this little mini tetherball pole, and it could accommodate the 4 people that were sitting around it, and so they'd catch us standing up, smacking a little mini tetherball back and forth. We also brought in little mini beach balls, and we'd string up a volleyball net and play volleyball. And yeah, we'd bring in like little toys, like little army men, and pretend that we were attacking each other. Now, we also did some kind of questionable things, but I would say probably the queen of all that. Yeah, I can say her name because it's not her real name, but we call her Mikaline. And Mikaline was not only my drinking buddy, but she was like kind of the worst influence there, but in a fun way. Like one night somebody called up and you could tell that they were on drugs. I mean, they were sniffing and they were erratic and they were pissed because they felt that they had paid too much in shipping, and they only paid like $4.95. And she goes, you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do for you. If you can find that amount in the cushions of your couch, I will give you a $20 gift certificate. And you could hear, and she, she basically pulled off one of the ears on her headset and turned it towards me, and I leaned in and I was listening, and you could hear these people just ripping up this fucking couch.
Damn.
I mean, flinging cushions and shit, and you can hear them digging, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, I found." I found 25 cents. Okay, great. And she's like, I'm keeping a tab for you, so you don't have to remember it. Just tell me what you find, and I'll write it down and add it up. And they're like, oh, shit, I found a brass button. She's like, no, that's good. That's worth like 15 cents. And they're like, and they're like, well, there's a couple of Cheetos down here. And she's like, well, how many Cheetos? She's like, the lady she was talking to was like, there's like 3 of them. And she's like, well, I can only give you a penny a piece on those. And she literally spent 20 fucking minutes, just going down this list. And she got them up, and she fudged the numbers just so she can give them the 20, because we were having so much goddamn fun with them. She's like, you know what? You won. And you could hear, there must have been like 4 or 5 people there, because you could hear everybody in the background going, yeah!
They probably forgot what they were even trying to go for.
Oh, well, it really made their day, damn it. And it made our night.
I mean, I've never worked. This is like the first time I've worked in anything that allows me to like work for a big company that I have to like actually deal with the company people. Otherwise I've always been like in food service. So I've never had that experience of being able to fuck with people on the phone.
Oh, I honestly did phone service for over 20 years. And yeah, you find ways to fuck with people. It's great. I also used to open up and run Kirby telemarketing offices. I used to do phone banks for the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would go around from city to city up and down the eastern seaboard and in the Midwest, and I'd set up.
Deborah.
Oh, good morning, Deborah. And I would set it up. And legitimately, people were like, well, we want to speak to your supervisor because you shouldn't be calling us because we have no interest and we never asked you for this. And the call center people were like, looking all paranoid and stuff. And I would literally get on the phone and go, yes, this is the supervisor. Oh, well, you're not happy with us calling you. Well, we'll make sure and take your name out of our registry here. It was probably given to us by a friend or a relative. But I tell you what, just to make sure you've got some satisfaction and know that we're serious about taking care of our customers, I will have this person fired immediately. So thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we'll go ahead and terminate her right now. Please have a great day. And half the time you got like stunned silence, and then I just hang up on them. The other half the time they'd be like, oh, no, we didn't want to get anybody fired. And when they do that, oh, that made my day, because I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, but it's too late. The decision has been made. I don't think we can have this person here anymore. We can't have them upsetting any type of potential customer. But thank you very much for your time, and please do have a lovely day. And I'd hang up the phone. I would look at the person who passed over the call, and I go, well, I guess you're fired, so get back to work. We used to have a contest, because the more calls you got, the more bullshit that you usually ended up with, but that means the more productive you were as well.
Yeah.
And we'd have a contest to whomever got the most legitimate firings during a week I would buy their lunch on Friday. Kirby is a very different mind frame. Well, here's kind of the setup. You'd get off work, you'd drink a case of beer or a bottle of whiskey, party until you pass out. When you wake up in the morning, you bump a rail or do a little bit of the hair of the dog that bit you. But most of the time it was, lining them up. So, you get a little nose candy in you, you get into work. By the time you got to lunchtime, you go off to work. Now, you didn't want to drink because then you'd start drinking and you never go back to work. So you bump a couple more rails and that would get you out. And with Kirby, the job is really not over until the salesmen are all out of houses. So sometimes we were there until midnight. Because there were salespeople that, it's like, well, I did the whole demonstration and they're kind of on the fence. What do I do? And so you basically have to walk them through it. Say, hey, did you try this? Did you try this? Did you try that? And all the while, we're technically off work, so we're all just getting fucked up. We're all getting drunk and shit. Maybe smoking some things, maybe ingesting things through our nose. And so we get to the point where finally everybody was out of the houses and we could really seriously focus on drinking. So we drink and pass out. And then the cycle would start over again the very next day. So, yeah, you really had to be high-strung type A personalities to, go into somebody's home and try to sell them an $1,800 vacuum cleaner. You could pay that much to buy a beater car. But we sold them. We sold that shit left and right, man. Me from St. Louis to New York down to Florida and back. It was a very wild lifestyle, and you really had to be a hardcore partier to be able to survive anything afterwards. Because it was kind of like biker initiation almost. Let's see how much you can drink until you throw up. Well, yeah, everybody found that out really, really quickly. Because God, we did drink a lot. and we were whores. Most of the people were single and preferred it that way. And I can say without pride, but just as fact, that every telemarketing office that I set up, I've banged people from at least 7 different states now.
God damn.
But it was fun because I did it for Jesus.
No, with this new job, like speaking of whores, with this new job I'm at, like, I'm working in a warehouse or whatever, and there's this one guy there who's hit on everything with a vagina, and like he's an older gentleman, and there's one like really ching chong lady, and then there's another ching chong lady, and then we were leaving the other day, he'd gotten on the phone and he already seemed a little drunk, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, we barely got off. How'd you already get booze in you? But but he was on the phone, and then he comes over to me and one of the other guys, and he's like, I just got another lady, like she wants to hang out and do something, blah 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 blah. And then he's like, hey, you wanna join us? Like, we're gonna have like a nice little, like, little hangout, like fancy beers and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't wanna, like, I'm sure you got plenty of ladies. He's like, no, I'm building a harem. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't think my man would be okay with that. And he's like, he can join too. It's a harem. And I'm just like, dude, you're fucking drunk. Like, first off, I ain't gonna fuck you. Second off, pretty sure anti-hero's not gonna fuck you. So this is, and I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. Like, Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Like, you have fun with that, dude.
Oh, the sad smell of desperation. It is the worst cologne. Merc, I have to say that if you're presenting facts, then it's quite all right because you're building the foundations of where you came from. I mean, you can't deny it. If it's, if you had sex with other people, you had sex with other people. You know, it. One time, uh, I knew this should have been a warning sign because, and I've got a worse story about my ex-wife, but we sat around with a friend of ours. She was another party buddy. She was married, but she liked to fuck everybody, and she was good at it. But um, we were sitting there going, well, how many people have you actually slept with? And once they go through the fingers and toes, it's like, okay, stop. I don't really need to know anymore. I'm good. Great, you got a baker's 2 dozen. But there was one night when we were at this person's house, and I was sitting around the euchre table, and we were playing. We were playing a game of a foursome, and I looked around the table, and it was me and 3 other women, and all of a sudden, it dawned on me that I had had sex with everybody at the table. And I felt like a dirty whore.
I've never had to experience that. Like, I've never experienced that before. I've had my number like pretty low in comparison, and like what's it's like a lot of my friends, namely my female friends, were like, "Oh, have you gone into your slut phase yet?" I'm like, "We get phases like that?"
Where's
Wait,
that goddamn
what?
manual? I need it right now.
And so they're trying to explain to me like, "Yeah, no, you just, it's when you just go and bang." And I'm like, "But I don't do that." Like, I've always been one of those stupid bitches who's like, "Oh yeah, monogamous relationships, woo." Like that was always a thing for me. And then I get to find out like, no, we're allowed slut phases. Like, it's totally okay. And I'm like, "But since when?" Like, I want to have a slut phase, and I tried. That's the funny thing about it too, is I had tried to have a slut phase, and like I hooked up with 2 guys. Like, that's it. Like, I hooked up with like two guys during my slut phase. Like, that was my slut phase. I'm like, "Guys, look, I had unattached sex. I didn't date them."
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, I told you about the high school thing where they had that secret list.
Hmm.
Um, but when I set up telemarketing offices, um, I would do the hiring too, and you know, I'd just hire in people that I thought could do a good job. Now, 9 out of 10 times they were females. Um, Males don't usually gravitate towards towards call center jobs, and most of the time it doesn't work out because most of them don't have the attitude unless they're gay males for some reason. Um, but invariably, I would end up banging somebody who is in the call bank, and they would. It was like the Brett commercial, you'll tell a friend and they'll tell another and they'll tell another. So
Hmm.
it was kind of quite obvious that I was quite a bit whorish, and
Just a little.
and they and they do you know the phrase bicycle girl?
Yes.
Okay, well I was the bicycle boy.
You were the company bike.
Yeah, they just want to take me out for a spin and see if their girlfriends were bullshitting them. So I mean, I guess I wasn't dated for my personality.
Nah, it was all about that dick.
Yeah, they were just trying to break off a little something something.
Well, you got wicked now, and I think she likes you for more than just that.
Well, you know, I'm a serial monogamist when I can be. When I was running around setting up offices for Kirby, there's no way that I could be monogamous because I would spend, you know, like 3 months in Atlanta. Then I go and spend 3 months in St. Louis, 3 months in Albany. I actually spent a couple years down in North Carolina. But yeah, I mean, it was short term shit. So it's like, you know, let's bone and go. Hey, I actually get that reference, Merc. I did read Tucker Max. Um, I did see the movie too, and I didn't really like the movie. But I can say probably Tucker Max, half his stories were more than likely bullshit, and the meaning that it probably didn't happen to him, but he had a buddy tell him. So he collected all the sex stories that people told him, and made them his own. But it's not like he was an ugly guy, but he was a guy of privilege too. So I mean, he could have traveled in those circles, and you know, spent time banging bunnies. I don't know. Is that a term? Is anybody else familiar with the term bunnies?
Um, like to a couple of ways, yes.
Uh,
I'm aware of the term.
yeah, because I think that might be a regional thing because you know bunnies like to fuck a lot, so you're banging bunnies.
Yeah.
Dude, Rakist, I've had a person come up to me and just say, you know, uh, Tamika thought you were pretty good last night. What you doing tonight? You know? Oh, okay. So yeah. There's no. It's not Playboy bunnies because some of these women were just not attractive, but they were fuck crazy. You know, they just wanted to have some nice unattached sex. And yeah, Merc is saying barracks bunnies. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess there's some type of evolved term wherever you are. Um, but yep, I was a very responsible person too. You know, no glove, no love. Cause
That that's a smart way to do it.
yeah, but unfortunately, condoms do not stop crabs.
No, they don't. And now everybody in chat, you know that Duck had once had to deal with, you know.
Well, allegedly twice, maybe three times. But now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
God damn it, Duck. I was trying to save you.
Oh, I don't give a shit. You know what's going to be funny? You know, 20 years down the line, somebody who still is carrying on my last name, and you know, because you know, I did not procreate. I just recreated. Um, no, the crabs do not go onto your penis. They hang around the hair because you know it's kind of like uh yeah, it's kind of like the handle on a suitcase, so they can just hold on, you know, and do their little bitey thing. But Uh, oh my God, I forgot what I was talking about. Thank God. Uh, but oh, I remember.
Crabs.
I remember one time. Now, this is when we were really, really drunk one night. I put the condom on, and I was thinking, uh, uh, the woman that I happened to be with at the time was like, yeah, my old boyfriend used to put his balls inside the condom, and my first thought was, how small was his dick? And because I think the people who have tuned in already know that I am of average size. Um, but she was like, yeah, let's try that. And she tried to tuck my balls into the condom. And that's not a lovely feeling. That's not a good thing. I mean, I'm okay, occasionally with the kink and having like the rib cock rings and stuff, but oh man, no. Gentlemen out there, please never try to stuff your balls into a condom if your cock is already in it. It's a bad thing.
The more you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't understand how you've gotten yourself in such situations with such people, Doc. Wait, yeah, I do. I get it.
'Cause I was a hooer.
You're here.
By the way, did you get that word that I sent to you?
Maybe.
Okay, so give me your theory.
Um, shower?
No.
No.
Shua.
Shua.
Shua. I'll
Shua.
do that.
Shua. I don't know, Doc. Thinking is really hard right now.
Well, uh it's just an Eastern way of saying shore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, from time to time. Now, people who've actually DM me will know even the fact that IRL I'm a writer. Um, I have my own style of writing when I'm talking to friends and or affiliates and colleagues. Um, and yeah, it doesn't look like I could write shit, and that's on purpose too, because like I rarely write out you. I usually write out like your or ya, just to put a little flavor into it. Oh, by the way, I have to mention this story.
Okay.
Okay, so someone suggested that I try to get on the guys from Firesign Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Firesign Theater is a comedy group that was very popular in the '60s and early '70s. Um, I invite anybody to look them up. They're a lot of fun. Um, and they're pretty for their time they were pretty radical, but they were very entertaining. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and take a look. I'll look into it. I found that there were two surviving members. I could not find any emails for them. I couldn't find any way to contact them to see if they'd be interested in coming on to Doctor on Call.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out where I found out their book publisher, the people who had the publishing rights to not only their audio stuff, but the books that they had written as well. So I sent an open letter to them, and I said, hey, I'd like to get a hold of Philip Proctor and uh, gosh darn it, I know I'm gonna miss his name. I think it's Dan Simmons. And wait a minute, I'll just double check that because no, Dan Osman. or David Osman. Jeez, oh Pete's. Okay, I got the D right, and there was a man in the last part of that name. So I contacted the publishers and I said, hey, listen, I was just wondering, I got this humble little talk show, and I was wondering if I could get the surviving members on. And I sent it away that morning, and I got into contact with the person who made the request. And I said, yeah, I sent them out an email. I don't know if anything will come of it because I didn't have a direct email. They don't have an agent or anything. So I just went to the website where they sell their audios and their books. I sent that letter, or I sent that DM to the person, and then all of a sudden, just almost immediately after I sent that, I get an email back from Philip Proctor, directly from Philip Proctor, not his agent, not the website saying thank you for sending an email. I get a letter from Philip Proctor, or an email from Philip Proctor, and he's like, yeah, I'd like to be on. Sounds like fun. He's like, I got a new book that came out this year. I could promote that, and I'm like, okay, great. That's terrific. And I didn't think anything about it. I thought, well, I guess he's probably in with the site, and he helps run the site. So more than likely, that's kind of his gig. And sorry, I'm taking some water here.
No worries. You take what you gotta take.
I wish it was liquor. But so we're trying to shore up things, and of course, he is an actual honest to God boomer, and so there's going to be it's what I call the Fulton syndrome. I've had a couple of guests that have backed out on me because they're technophobes. It seems too complicated. They get overwhelmed with it, and they just back out. So one of the things that I do, especially for people who, actually have a real life and don't spend every, waking hour on the internet, I will get a hold of them like the week before. We'll set up a time, and then they'll call me. I'll talk to them on the phone, and I'll help walk them through the Google Hangouts. I've even created like a 1 minute 27-second tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
And good morning, Ortiz.
Hello, Ortiz.
So I created even a little tutorial, literally from downloading the app to jumping right into the Google Hangout. And so we've got some time scheduled for it, and I think it was this morning. Yeah, it was this morning. I woke up and I'm staring at a letter from David Osman. And he's like, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Love to do an interview. And I'm like, well, shit. When it rains, it pours. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not I can get, because things happen, like like some of the members of like Monty Python would prefer not to deal with other members.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that happened with the Goon Show. Same thing that happened with the cast of Saturday Night Live. So I don't know if there's any animosity, if these guys are still buddies. So I'm going to have to breach that topic, because I'd love to have them both on, because if both of them were there at the same time, which they were, I'm sure each of them are going to be able to bounce off each other and spark memories and pull stories. Because the only thing that I can really research, because nobody's really done any really intensive bios or what wrestlers like to call road stories. So I would like those guys to be there so they can say, I remember that time when you, because I think that makes a fun conversation.
Oh yeah.
Well, I get I get an email directly after that. Um, I get an email directly after that uh, uh, from Phil Proctor,
Mm-hmm.
and it only has 4 words on it, and those 4 words are nude karaoke DJ, eh? So,
Context, Doc. Context.
the, well, no, because the night before we were on stream, and I was talking about how I did naked karaoke and how I was a strip club DJ. So apparently
Um,
he listened to the IRS,
nice.
and I wrote him back immediately, and I said, please allow me to clarify.
Please don't judge me based on my past.
Well, no, I was like, I have done karaoke in the nude, and I was a DJ at a strip club. Nary the twain did meet. And then I went on to kind of explain how Doctor on Call was kind of my serious gig, and the IRS was basically just people cutting loose who couldn't sleep. And so the stories do have a tendency to get a little bit of burlesque to them.
That's pretty awesome though that he even listened, you know? Like he took the time to listen to the stream. Even though it wasn't quite the one that you're trying to get him on, he still took the time.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. I always have what I call the Revenge of the Nerds paranoia.
Hmm.
Now, have you seen Revenge of the Nerds?
I have.
Okay, you know that the only way that they got sponsorship from a fraternity was that was the only fraternity that they didn't send a group photo to. So every fraternity that they sent for membership, they sent an actual photo of all the guys, and once they saw them, they were just like, fuck off. You know, we don't want anything to do with you. The one that we never, the one that they never sent the picture to was the one that said, okay, we'll take you on as a temporary charter. Well, that's the paranoia that I have, that somebody's going to check into the streams, or just basically take a look at the amount of subs that I have, or the amount of actual views, and just go, this guy's just not worth our time. So yeah, that's my Revenge of the Nerds paranoia. Um, I honestly think that I do a pretty good interview. Um, both the one thing that both Wifey and Addie agree on is that I'm criminally undersubbed and I should have more subs. But what I'm doing, I think, is an organic thing.
Hmm.
So you know, I I really do want people to find me, um, and find me through word of mouth. I don't want to set up a mass marketing campaign, or not like mundane matting it by like buying subs. Um, I just want people to find it, and if they like it, they'll come back the next week and the week after. Maybe they will tell a friend. Maybe somebody will overhear them listening to one of the streams and go, "What's that?" and get interested with it.
Yeah.
Um, I think the only way anything is ever successful is organic. Grassroots. Not like organic peanut butter, because that sucks. Especially if you're in amorous situations.
I mean, you know,
Hey,
sometimes you just got to get a little kinky.
hey, Big Fat Brian's running around. I have not seen him in the chat yet.
Oh, this son of a bitch.
Now, if he is in the chat and is just laying low and playing Ninja, I wanted to compliment him on his cranberry sauce video. It was very good. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What Alex, what interview did I scoop you on? Because I mean, if it's the Fire Sign Theater guys, they are incredibly chill. These guys are cool as shit, and I can't wait to get them on either individually or tag teaming on the show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and also, that's a window uh, into a type of comedy, uh, into a presentation that I think can parallel what's happening with YouTube. I think that
Oh,
I think you can draw parallels as to what they went through and how they do it.
how so?
Well, because they were just a bunch of guys who got together and started making up skits and routines and wherever they could go, and like improv theater companies, basically just try to get out and get heard and get known. They were doing shit that they loved, and that's pretty much like our modern day content creators on YouTube. Is that
Some of them, yeah.
yeah? Well, yeah. Well, the ones that are cool, not the ones that are dicks. And good morning, Hex.
Hey, Hex.
Um, ah, fire! It burns through your My boxer
Yeah.
shorts are smoking. God damn it! I'm glad I wasn't wearing my boxer briefs.
Everything okay, Doc?
Hmm. There was a slight fire in the ballroom, but everything is fine.
Was it a ballroom blitz?
No, that happens when wifey gets amorous.
Hey.
Cause I don't know about anybody else who's in a long term relationship, but kind of the path of rose petals leading to the bed, that kind of goes away after about the first 2 or 3 years. Um, Wifey will like kind of walk up to me and have that kind of glazed wild animal look in her eyes, and she'll just kind of point at my crotch and go, "I'm gonna have some of that tonight." Yeah. So, and you must do your husbandly duties.
Yes, it's only right.
Yes. And uh, one of the funniest things that I've ever heard. There was a girl that I went out with who was incredibly bawdy. Um, she swore like a sailor, and she fucked like she was made of Viagra. And um, she looked at me after one night of just sweaty burnout sex, to where it's like let's keep doing this until either one of us has a heart attack, or we both basically pass out with loss of bodily fluids. And she looks at me. We're both laying there in a fucking sweaty pile of sex smell, and she looks over at me and she goes, it's not rape if you make breakfast for me.
Wow.
And I was like, well, wait a minute. You started this, so you have to make breakfast because I will cry rape. I will not be used. And she was like, yeah, you will. Sometimes I like the women who are straight up front. Sometimes I like the chase. But yeah, I really never forgot that. But I never ever had the balls to repeat that to any future partners. You know, it's not rape as long as you make me breakfast.
Yeah.
So remember that, kids. Rape is not funny.
Unless they make you breakfast.
Or if they're doing it in a clown wig and those big floppy shoes.
Even the... I slightly disagree with you on that one, Doc.
Do, 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 do. Yeah, you know, it's so funny that and people say, well, you know, it was Stephen King's It that really kicked off clown phobia, and it's like, no, it actually wasn't, because I knew people when I was a wee tyke, you know, back before fire was invented, that had clown phobia. But then again, I met some people who were into clown sex. Now, fewer of the people that I've met were into having sex with clowns. There were definitely more who were afraid of clowns, feared clowns, hated clowns. But I always thought of clowns this way. I don't hate clowns. I don't love clowns. But I am suspicious of clowns at all times, because it is the only profession in the world where you literally paint on a smile.
Yeah.
So do not trust clowns. Don't say hold my beer and expect there not to be foreign backwash in it when you get back.
I don't know how I feel about this. You're going into some dark territory here.
Were you assaulted by a clown gang?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No, that's a different story.
By the way, I would recommend for one of my favorite appearances of clowns. There's a movie called Real Men, starring John Ritter and James Belushi. There is a segment in there where they are attacked by a clown hit squad. And it is a comedy, by the way. But if you're really not into clowns, it can be cathartic.
Why, do the clowns get beat the fuck up?
Oh, they sure as hell do. So would you say that you're not a juggalo then?
Me? No.
So you ain't down with the clowns?
I mean, I have nothing necessarily against them, but it's just, they ain't my thing.
Well, I would ask you what your thing is, but there's probably about a dozen people who are listening, and at least half of those probably have a notepad next to them. Because you know most of the people that show up to this show are part of the underground cadet fan club.
Well, it's got to be real deep underground because I ain't really much to be a fan of. But Anti-Hero is a fan, and that's what counts enough for me. And he already knows some of the shit that I'm into, and yeah.
Well, I'm not asking anyone to reveal themselves. So I'm not going to ask for ones in the chat if you are actually part of the Underground Cadet fan club. But I will ask it this way: how many people in the chat, by a one, are here for Cadet? Not to take you away or anything, but you find Cadet to be the entertaining part of this show.
I barely talk, and usually when I do, I'm just kind of rambling about nothing.
Uh,
Or wind up turning the conversation to sex, which, I mean, let's be honest, it's almost always entertaining for most people.
well, duh, it's a ramble stream, you know. And, well, somebody new in the chat. Good morning, Nathan Rudolph. Have a wrench.
Hello, Nathan.
And, and really, I want to, I really want to get some feedback here from the audience. I'm going to do, I'm going to do a birthday stream. Wait, 3? That's a fucking trick question. Well, you know, I would consider if anybody put down a 2, it would be because they're here for the both of us.
No. They're here for you, Doc.
I'm just a facilitator. I'm the gateway drug.
Nah, you got the stories. You got some amazing stories. Like I guess the closest I would be, like, the only reason why anybody would come and listen to me is to try and listen to me fuck up, so that this way they could bitch about how I fucked up, you know, kind of thing. Because, like, that's about it. Like,
well, you know, and just to be quick on the serious tip, and I'll get away from it, but I noticed that you use self-deprecating humor, and most of the funny stuff that you do is just when you're being honest, because I know a lot of people have problems, and you know, with my early childhood, I mean, I was like a fucking Frankenstein monster. I mean, I legit had my legs caged from foot to hip for like 2 years to straighten out my legs. They thought I might have had polio, but
hey, Forrest, you're giving yourself away there.
What?
Because Forrest Gump had the same kind of.
Forrest Gumps were functional, and they were leg braces. Mine were actual cages.
Oh God.
Yeah, because they wanted to make sure that my bones didn't warp. And back in the day, in the 60s, they thought that was the smartest way to go, is to cage the legs completely. They were wrong, by the way.
Yeah, I can only imagine so.
But that was 2 fun years of horror added on top of it, you know, as a stutterer. But I always did the self-deprecating humor. And then when I got old enough, it's funny because I have no problem telling any of the fucked up shit that I did, because I mean, every victory and every defeat is just as important in the foundation, in the building blocks that made me. And you know, I'm still adding on rooms to that house, but I don't make it more. I make it less self-deprecating than I do just, yeah, this shit happened, and hopefully it will make you last. No, because actually, Alex, my what do you call them? The long bone in the bottom of your leg. It's either the tibia or the fibula. They thought that was warped, or that was warping. Because I was an anemic kid too, so I would take injuries pretty easily. I was just all sorts of fucked up. And yeah, literally what I can remember of it, because I spent quite a while blocking it out. One of the major things that I remember, and you know, because this was when I was a younger kid, the one thing I remember, besides being grateful that they took those fucking things off just before I went into kindergarten, because there was no such thing as preschool back then. You went straight into kindergarten.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember was I remember laying in my bed, and I couldn't lay on my side because I had to sleep with these things on. And the only thing I can remember is looking up, and my mom was in the doorway, and she was looking at me like I was one of the most pitiful things ever, holding back tears. And I just remember her slowly closing the door, and I just, it was because I have this metal box around both of my legs. I mean, they were open air, but they were cages. Um, but yeah, that's the one thing that I remember. That's the one big piece of melancholy, because I've chosen to push out any of those bad memories. I'm playing Kelly Bundy. I can only hold so many memories, and that if
Yeah.
I make new ones, it's going to push the old ones out, and that's fine by me. Um, I honestly don't even know where this was going. Fuck me. Am I drunk? I wish.
No, it's
Um,
just it's been a long fucking day. It's been Turkey Day. It's been
well,
that gobble gobble day.
nah, it was Speedway Roller Grill giving. Um, we took the last of the money because wifey needed smokes, and I'm like, well, shit, I got this much left on the card, so um, I think I'm like, well, we got like $15 left on the card, so get yourself the smokes, and since you're going to be there at Speedway, hit the roller grill, because it's like two things for like $3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
She actually went with the 2 for $4,
Oh.
and got me a cheeseburger and a spicy chicken sandwich with jalapeno or something that was a spicy cheese.
Yeah.
So,
Pepper
I,
jack?
and she got me, the beverages were on sale for like 69 cents or something, and so I immediately ate the chicken sandwich. I did thank God for it, um, because apparently you're supposed to thank God for anything that you eat on Thanksgiving, even if you're going
Wow.
down on someone. Cross yourself, say maybe a Hail Mary, and go down, because that's the proper thing to do on Thanksgiving.
I thought the proper thing was to just eat and be happy that you get to eat and thank the people who, I don't know, made the food.
Yeah, my it was kind of a pathetic one this time around, because my older brother came into town, and had Thanksgiving dinner at the hospice with my mom, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, I can come pick you up," and I was like, "Dude, I can't." It's it's what I like to call bad stair day,
Mm-hmm.
because like maybe you got one trip down that stair, maybe you might not come back up them stairs.
Yeah.
So literally, I kind of have to rely on wifey, or sometimes if the child isn't being a moody emo bitch, have her go down and like get me water or something, or ice. Well, ice mostly. Um, but I'm like, no, I'm kind of saving up. Wifey's next day off is Sunday, so we're gonna go out and see her then. And of course, uh, my brother was like, um, well, you might want to make sure and get out here and see her before Dad's birthday, because she's really depressed, and I think she's probably going to let go. My dad's birthday is, or was, well, no, I guess even if you're dead, it technically still is your birthday.
Yeah, it was the day of your birth.
Yeah, I mean, rotting is technically aging. So, uh, my my dad's birthday's coming up in 3 weeks, and I'm gonna be surprised if mom makes it through the holiday. I really will. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. She's 73 years old. She's had a pretty good life. She's had a pretty interesting life. Um, I know everybody when they get to the end, there's always something that they can think of where their years have been wasted. But by and large, if you've got more check marks in the plus column than you do in the minus column, yeah, call it a victory. And I mean, she raised 3 kids that were hers, and most of them didn't end up in jail for a short period of time. Um, so she did her job. I mean, none of her kids died of drugs. Nobody ever axe murdered anybody. No domestic violence charges, anything like that. So she did a good job. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go see her in a couple days, and I told you the story about the goodbye shadows, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm paranoid as shit about. I do not want to walk in there and see that fucking thing. I mean, I should count it as a blessing because I know I can put ducks in a row, but it's not like I will not walk in there and say I love you because my mom literally could have smothered me with a pillow at any time in my childhood, and probably should have. At least,
Well,
at least enough to where like the thrashing and the kicking start to die down, and then she pulls the pillow off and goes, see, we can make this final. Straighten your shit up. I think that would have been a good object lesson.
I mean, maybe.
Well, here's her thing. Until we got too old for it, she would go. There was a hardware store next to the grocery store that we used to go to. And after she was done with the grocery store, she'd go over to the hardware store and ask them for paint paddles because that's what she used to beat us with. Was paint paddles. She would break paint paddles over our asses. To where it got to the point where it was ineffective. But the guy who ran the hardware store just thought it was funny as shit. So he would give her like a half a bucket of paint paddles. Um, so yeah, my mom was not afraid to spare the rod, and I think I was better off for it. Um, because I think there's a lot of kids in now the future generations who haven't had their ass beat but need to have their ass beat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're having somebody, like a parent kick your ass, at least you know that there's going to be a stopping point. Whereas if you get out into the big scary world and you piss somebody off enough, you don't know if they're going to stop beating on you until, your little heart ceases. Until your brains are coming out your damn ears. But yes, what was the old saying? I believe that children need to be beaten early and often.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, but on YouTube apparently that's taken a different meaning.
I I don't want to know what other meaning it could be taking on.
Mm.
Dude, I you know what though? I'm gonna say like I am definitely heavily mentally fucked for having been beat as a child. Um But at the same time, I have a hell of a lot more respect than some of these little fucks that I've fucking like, and I'm talking about like 10-year-olds. I've seen some fucking 10-year-olds throwing goddamn fits because their parent won't buy them a rated M for mature game. And I just kind of want to grab them by their fucking scrawny little necks. And I have verbally put children in their goddamned place in front of their parents because and it's like these overwhelmed looking like parents that are just like, okay, like please stop, like no, like blah blah blah. And I'll just fucking, hey, what did your mother just fucking tell you? And I don't edit myself around children. I don't give two shits. Like, you can go ahead and get mad at me for cursing around your child, but if you're not gonna fucking lay down the goddamn law for your kid, I sure as hell will. And when you're around me, if you bring your kid around me, prepare for my whole fucking like adult mom authoritarian fucking voice to because this kid needs to fucking learn. I will not deal with your bullshit. Mind you, I'm not going to beat your kid for you. I'll leave that up to you. I've seen a mom like go and spank her kid, and then she sees that I saw and she like stopped, like, oh no, please, like, don't call CPS because I spanked my kid because he's screaming his fucking little bitch ass up. And I'll just be like, and I'll give her a little nod and a smile, and then I'll turn and I'll walk away. And then she like gets this look of relief on her face because you cannot, like, it is hard. Now mind you, I'm not advocating for child abuse. I was abused as a child. I wasn't just straight up disciplined. I was abused. Like one of my favorite stories that Muffin and I think we were making a joke of a couple nights ago was how my dad used to throw me, like he would pick me up by like my neck and throw me either into my sisters or into a wall, um
Oh.
just because he was pissed. That's uh, that's pretty much, that's kind of child abuse. um just a little bit.
Well,
But
it's like my dad. If he couldn't reach us at the point, he would just pick up whatever was there and throw it at us. Now, keep in mind, he was a refrigeration repairman. So he had some nice heavy tools too. So sometimes, it's kind of like that scene from a dodgeball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
yeah.
It got to be kind of like that every so often. But yeah, I mean, there's a line. I mean, you use punishment as an example of not to do shit again, not take out frustrations on a child because a child just will not understand that. They can't crystallize it into, oh, okay, I shouldn't be doing that, and it turns and flips it to where the child becomes paranoid and goes, well, what shouldn't I be doing? And that's incredibly detrimental. I mean, trying to walk around, walking around on eggshells, you just there's no way to live life.
Oh yeah, I walked around eggshells like growing up my entire life because it'd be it it'd be as simple as like, um if my alarm went off twice because I pushed the snooze button, you know, and it was it'd be some stupid, or who we had Christmas canceled on us before. Like my dad was just like, well, I'd had all these gifts for you guys for Christmas, but I see that there's a little like corner of your bedroom that's still dirty, so fuck you and fuck Christmas. And he was just in a rancid mood, and wound up beating us later that day. Like, you know, shit happens. But I
Wow,
am
but
saying that
that's
there's a,
that's abuse.
yeah, that's abuse. But if your little rat fuck is screaming at you and calling you a stupid bitch, you backhand them into, and you fucking backhand them and be like, watch your fucking mouth. You watch your language. My my daughter. She's in her teenage years now. She lives with her father, my ex-husband. But my daughter,
Really?
yeah,
You have a teenager?
yeah.
Wow. You're not as old as me, though. I am older. Ha 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 ha.
but she as a kid, like she would go and reach for something, and I'd be like, don't. And I would stop her. I would give her one little warning where I'd tell her, no, don't, don't reach for the fucking hot stove. I know fire is pretty. Don't do it. And so she would, if she did it again, I would just take two of my fingers and whap her in the back of the hand. And as I tell her, no. And she learned, don't try to reach for hot stove when mommy says no, don't do it. Or pain. Like sometimes pain is the only teacher
Yeah,
that kids will understand.
true.
Sometimes a firm enough voice. And I've heard some of these weak fucking parents who are just like, no, honey, don't do that. Oh no, please calm down. And then I come in and turn on my fucking cadunt mom voice, and I'm just like, no.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Catmandingo the Third.
Good morning, Cat Mandingo.
Um, I have a good Walmart story for you.
Oh.
Yeah, we were going. I don't know what we were there for, but um, we were going down one of the aisles, and there was a woman that had, I would say, probably maybe a 7-year-old in the cart,
Mm-hmm.
and that little fucker was reaching over and just picking up shit, anything it could grab. We were, I forget what aisle. We were in like the bath accessories aisle. Yeah, yeah, cause we were there to get a new plunger, and uh, that little fucker was just picking up shit and dropping it, and picking up shit and dropping it, and the mom was not doing a goddamn thing, and not even acknowledging it, and I just walked up to her and touched her on her forearm, and I was like, gosh, it must be a tough life. And she looked at me and she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, raising a special needs child. And she looked at me and she's like, my son is not retarded. And I'm like, then you probably should take care of this shit, don't you think?
Hmm.
And I just smiled and walked away. Because
I,
I
I've,
can be
I've
a
only
dick when I want to. Because I'm old and I can get away with it.
See, I've only ever had like one Walmart store that was kind of like that, where it was one of those moms. It was like, hey, hey, don't do that. Hey, no, I said no. Blah 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 blah. Being weak and pathetic. And I just and the kid came running at me with some fucking thing that they had, like they decided to grab. I think it was like a roll of wrapping paper or something like that. And they came running at me, and they went to swing, and I caught it, and I pulled it out of their hand, and then I bopped him on the head with it, and I said, "What did your mother just tell you?" And he looked at me, he glowered at me, and then he started trying to throw on the crocodile tears, and he ran back, and she'd seen the whole thing, and he ran back to her crying, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to hug you. She's right. I told you not to be playing around like that." And I'm just like, "Fucking right. You fucking understand. Like, you got to fucking be firm with these little fuckheads." Like, not all. Mind you, there's a certain limit. I am not advocating for child abuse, but I am advocating for disciplining your fucking kid. Do not fear for those little fucking those stupid fucks who will go around and be like, well, that's child abuse. You can't talk to your child in a negative fashion. You can't talk to them in too firm of a voice, and blah 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 blah. You need to talk to children in a firm voice. You need to. They're gonna rail all over you, and what's gonna happen? You're going to be raising your kid with a growing sense of bitterness and hatred towards them as they go out and fuck up their lives and fuck up other people's lives because they're not being given boundaries. They're not being given limits. And children need that shit. You cannot coddle your children all the fucking time. Mind you, I do believe in coddling your kid every once in a while. If something really upsets them, then fucking comfort them. If it's something that makes sense, like fucking comfort them. I'm one of those people who's like all about like body positivity. Like my daughter just so happens to have beautiful bushy brows, and she's like, I'm thinking of shaving them. I'm like, don't. I mean, if you want to, but don't do it just because like somebody said, wow, your eyebrows are really hairy. Who fucking cares what the fuck they say?
Wow.
Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to fucking go ahead and try and shave your eyebrows out. She still did it. And then it wound up growing, like looking stupid as fuck for her. And I'm just like, listen, I'm letting you know now. You know all those bitches who pluck, shave, and wax eyebrows? Guess what they do? They redraw them back in so they look bigger and thicker and more square or whatever. They redraw them back in. Yours are growing in beautifully and naturally. You don't have to draw in shit and spend extra money just to make your eyebrows look the way that they're drawing theirs on, like retards.
Yeah.
And she grew up learning a little more to fucking realize like, yeah, I got big beautiful bushy brows and mine are fucking all natural. Go fuck yourselves, you dumb bitches.
Well, one of my favorite things, one of my favorite dick things that I ever did concerning children is we were in line.
Careful with phrasing, Doc.
Well, how about dickish?
Okay, there we go.
Um, uh, we were caught in a fucking Walmart line. You know, like a line that moves. Uh, God, it doesn't move. I don't have an analogy. It just doesn't move. It's like nothing ever pulls forward, and so we're basically stacked outside of where the coolers start, and then the conveyor starts to put your shit on. So we're still
Yeah.
sitting there manning our shopping carts, and this one little kid, uh, um, I don't know why she let the little bastard run around, probably about five or so, and just crying. I mean, like bawling so much they become red faced. I mean, like that angry, spoiled crying kind of shit.
Yeah, the kind that makes you want to punch them in their faces.
Yeah, yeah, and she was just ignoring the damn kid. Once again, one of those mothers. And the kid was just running around shrieking like a goddamn banshee. And the kid was making, loops around, end cap displays and shit and weaving in between carts and stuff. And the kid got close to me and just, and I literally, the moment that the kid got close enough to me, I leaned down face to face and I went, ah! Fucking kid stopped dead in their tracks. Stop crying. And it was just in that,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, go back to your mom now. And the lady looked at me like she was gonna say something. I was like, I dare you. Because when you get older, sometimes you really just don't want to put up with shit, or maybe because it's a Tuesday.
I actually had a moment while I was working at the fair. One of our girls had brought her kid, and her kid was throwing this little fucking tantrum, and he's trying to run to any of us who will give him fucking attention, and all of us are like just done with his shit because he's been throwing this shit all day. And he tried, coming over to me, and I'd heard his mom in the back saying, "No, don't do that. You get back in your chair. You're in timeout." And he comes running over, and he's just like, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, and I stop him and I block him, and then I pick him up. I don't say a fucking word. I pick him up and I sit him down in the chair, and then he tries to get up, and I put him back down in the chair, and he glowers at me, and I'm just like, try me. I'll stay right here. I can wait to get back to work. I will stay right here because what did your mother fucking tell you? And then he started like going, yeah, and doing the fucking little brat thing, and I'm just like, yeah, no, okay, you go ahead and make that noise. We're not gonna pay attention to that. And I turn my back on him, and he's still making the noise, but I hear him try and move out of the chair. So I turn around, put him back down in the chair, and then I turn my back on him again, and he just keep getting louder. And then he fucking finally realizes I'm not playing games, and he stops. And then he looks around and he waits, and then as my booth owner comes in the back to check on him, because she's the mothering type. And let me correct myself. She's the grandmothering type, where you have like the grandmother or the aunt who will be like, "Oh, here, sweetie, have a candy," or blah 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 blah. "Let me give you whatever you want. Let me give you all the love and attention that you want, even though you're misbehaving and being a little shit, and I'm gonna reinforce that kind of behavior." But she comes in the back, and he sees her, and he leans forward to try and get like around me, who's kind of blocking his way, and he starts making that noise. He starts doing the fucking little whining thing, and I'm just and I look at my booth owner. I'm like, his mother put him in timeout, and she looks at him and she goes, "Sorry, but if your mommy put you in timeout, I can't. I'm not dealing with it." And she turns and she ignores him, and she walks away. And he tries to throw an even louder fit, and then he realizes none of us are paying attention to him. Finally, fucking stops. I'm like, "Are you done?" And he glares at me, and he's just and his little fucking crocodile tears are glistening in his eyes, and I feel this sense of like, fuck you, I won. Go fuck yourself, you tiny fucking spawn of Satan. And then instead, I'm just like, all right, cool. You're gonna stay right here. I'm gonna get back to work. If I even think you're trying to move out of this chair, I will be back.
Yeah, I got duct tape.
Yep. Like I'm
Oh, and
I'm not gonna tell
good
this kid.
morning, Fifth.
We sold handcuffs. Like, I'll fucking handcuff this little motherfucker to a goddamn chair. I don't fucking care. You listen to your fucking parents. Now, if your parents are pieces of shit, then I can understand. If you don't want to listen to your parent, if they're one of those kinds of shitty people who's like, all right, go and kick that dog. No, don't. I'll give you a pass on not listening to your parent.
Okay,
But
well, we have to say good morning to Fifth, and good morning, Sir Adamantine.
hey, Fifth. Hey, Adamantine. It's almost good night for me, Doc. Oh my God, my alarm's gonna go off in 3.5 hours.
Okay, well, we're at 3:30, so you got about an hour and a half in. Um,
Yeah?
oh, I did want to make sure though, and run this past you and run it past the audience. I remembered what I was saying before Old Man went on tangent ramble. Um, for my birthday, I'm going to have I'm going to have a karaoke stream, and anybody who wants or is willing. I'm going to have to control it, because I'll be honest with you. If I get over 6 people in here, and I'm drunk, I don't think I'll be having any fun. So I got to make sure that it stays in control. We get people rotated in and out. People who want to sing and have a good time. But my whole thing was, since I don't have any cash, what I was gonna do is, yeah, it's a tried and true gimmick that I was gonna have people donate to make me drink, because then I might be able to get up enough cash to go down and watch the fight January 19th between Warski and Tonka, which I still think isn't going to happen, but I'd like to be there. I even told Tonka today, I'm like, don't you fuck this up for us. You guys are just an excuse for us to get together somewhere. But what do you think? What do you think I should set the bar at per? Because I'll do it as shots. I'm actually going to take and have my camera set up and pointing down towards so people can see me pouring shots. But what
$5 a shot.
$5 a shot? Have you met Disky Fringo? That man would kill me.
Okay. $10 a shot?
Yeah, I was thinking probably around there, because I know you weren't around when Blackout did his pay to make me drink stream. I think Disky, it was like $5 a shot, and he dropped $50 immediately.
Oh shit.
Disky will fuck you up.
All right. Well, this is gonna be like IRS time, right?
What? No, actually, I'm probably gonna start it because it's gonna be on December 24th, so nobody's gonna be streaming.
Well, you'd be surprised.
I have very little confidence in the fact that it's going to be a Monday, and most people are running around like chickens with heads cut off, or if they are interacting with the internet, they're just listening to a stream, because they got to get that bicycle built, or they got to get that present wrapped, or they got to get laid at the office party that they're not allowed to have on the 25th. Because they can't recognize it as a Christmas party. It has to be a holiday party now.
Well, yeah.
Because, yeah, sure, my coworkers can get together and get fucking blitzed as possible. Because I know nobody's coming in on the 25th, right? So, yeah, it's going to be a minor distraction. I don't really expect a lot of people to show up. But I think the ones that might show up might cause me damage. So I'm trying to protect myself. I already died once from drinking a fucking liter of vodka. Or no, wait a minute. What? The one in the big plastic jug, is that a liter or a gallon?
Depends on the size of the plastic jug.
I forget.
I think if it's vodka, it's a liter.
Okay. Well, I drank like a liter in about an hour, and alcohol poisoning took me out of the game. I went dead. I woke up 3 days later, though. Kind of the best sleep that I ever had, though. That was kind of okay. I didn't see any like lights at the end of the tunnel, or have any dead relatives calling to me or anything like that.
All right, we'll say this: if they want, they can donate 10 adamantine saying 1.75 liters, but 10 for a shot of what you have on hand, but you have to make sure you at least take a shot of water to match.
Oh, I always have a water back. Now, and here's the other gimmick. I was thinking of running two gimmicks at once. Or if somebody wants to request for me to sing a certain song, and they donate for me to sing that song. I mean, even I'd hope to God that I know it. Mm-hmm. But if I don't, I could as long as I can find it, Um, as long as I can find a karaoke version to sing, then I'll be cool with it. But yeah, if I can't find the version, I just won't be able to sing it. But I was thinking of running that two ways. You know, if people want to be charitable and not try to kill me, you know, then have me you know, do a song. And hopefully they want me to do a song and do it well, you know, and not like, you know, do a song by like I don't know. Um, I'm trying to think of somebody who's really high pitched and screechy. But
Mariah Carey.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm not doing fantasy because that's the one where she just goes shrieky um, into octave number 7.
Or you could always go the new high pitched and shrieky, which is Ariana Grande. I don't understand how people like. She sounds like a fucking child.
I'll be honest with you. Never listened to an Ariana Grande song.
You're fortunate. I mean, mind you, I'm sure there's probably one out there, at least one out there that I can like jam to, just because like I like music and I like, you know, the sounds and shit like that. But other than that, like I don't like she looks like a child. She sounds like a child. Why and why why is that appealing to people? Like, although then again, I don't like high treble.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't that the bitch who was in the donut shop and licked donuts?
Yes.
Yeah. Um.
Hey,
Good
Jolly Rogers.
morning, and I guess good night, Jolly Rogers.
Oh, yeah, you go die now. I'll be doing that soon myself.
Nah, just have an out of body experience. You know, death is boring.
It can be.
So, would you have a suggestion to like, you know what? If you want to go till 4, then I'll cash in with you. So that's what, about 15, 20 minutes.
Um, yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, I can fight it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. Audience advice. What do you guys think? Any of these gimmicks good? Do you think it would be worthwhile?
I think it's more worth it to try and get people to get you to sing. Because you can drink all on your own. Like you don't need people to pay for you to drink other than like, you know, buying your booze for you. Oh, it's almost Merc's break time.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be dead for a year. I was only out 3 days. That's because they did the induced coma because they were afraid that my kidneys had gone into renal failure, so they put me into that what do you call it, dialysis.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
no, I don't want to know how to solder.
Let me teach. What kind of offer is that, Sparky?
We used to
Mm,
take that. We used to take that real thick solder, and we used to make like little stick figures with them.
yeah.
We used to solder like we used to solder to itself and make like little stick figures. Um, I'm good with oh, what's it called? An arc welder. I can do that pretty well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of people kind of look at me with a little bit of fear and reservation when I have power tools. I'm I can swing a hammer like a motherfucker, but um, yeah. Usually they don't want me around the circular saw.
Oh God. Fucking what's it? When I was building, when I was Merc, no, Merc, no, and adamantine, yes. Um,
Good morning, John Doe. And no, I don't want to. Why do I want to learn how to solder? You guys need to realize that my right hand is like a piece of gnarled wood at this point. I can't. I'm going back to when I was a child. I used to be ambidextrous. So since the right hand is not working, I'm also trying to teach the left hand to do what I was told to forget. So when I do my little pad thing and write stuff down, I mean, I should show you sometime how I actually wedge the pen in and I write it not like my fingers are guiding it, but like I put it into a stump and draw with it. Because, well, I'm a tard. And I'm still trying to get my left hand to get good. But, you know, lacking anything else, I'll just deal with how I deal with it.
I mean, if you guys want to teach him how to do anything, teach him how to build something really cool. TIG, stick, MIG, brazing, soldering, I can do it all. Well, aren't we fancy, Sparky?
Yes,
Fucked up
but the
nonsense.
best skill that I ever learned was pleasing a woman.
Let's see, John Doe. Fucked up hand is no excuse. That's what duct tape is for. And Merc, my left hand does most of the work that I won't allow my calloused right hand to do. So everybody, now you're all aware. Merc whacks it with his left hand.
But and okay, here's a good visual reference for you. Do you guys remember Bob Dole when he ran for the presidency?
Yeah.
He usually, because it was either his left or his right hand, was almost completely immobile and unusable. He would take to make it look like it was useful and like put a pen between his fingertips. I mean, if he would have smoked, well, half our presidents smoke anyway, but you never see any presidential candidate smoking. Um, but yeah, I mean, he would put like a pen in it, and then he would just move it up and down like like a fucking useless appendage. That's kind of what I have to deal with. Of course, then again, there's no nicotine stains on my right fingers because, of course, I can't hold a cigarette with it. My left, that's yeah. I don't want to talk about my left hand.
No, you're not going to talk about lefty.
I'm trying to retrain my left hand. It's kind of challenging. I don't know if I can ever get it back, because like it's one of those things where I would go back and forth between my left hand and my right hand up until about second grade, and then they're like, you have to choose which one that you want to use, and they convinced me to go with the right because of course most all notebooks are made for right-handed people. Because if you're left-handed, you have a tendency to drag across whatever you're writing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went with the right hand.
Plus, being left-handed is a sign of the devil. Let's see.
Well,
Same concept. If you can write, you can solder. And start button fall. Oh, okay.
I'm
Hey,
still.
gaming and yelling.
Good morning, Turish. Good morning, gaming and yelling. But I see no practical application for me personally to do soldering. It's just something I've got a vast resume, but I don't think that's going to help me get a job anywhere down the line. I'm pretty sure.
How
Oh.
did we get on to soldering? Oh, because Sparky had to bring it up. No, no, Sparky, just give Doc money in his Streamlabs, and then there you go. That'd be a gift to him.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I want to be able to provide some type of entertainment, and I'm probably going to end up getting drunk anyway. But it's kind of nice for people to be the puppet master for
Mhm.
that. Um, but yeah, I might have to, because if they're paying for songs and people start just flat out fucking with me with shit I can't sing, I'm not going to be a happy camper.
But I want to hear you sing Ave Maria.
Ave Maria. There you go.
Nice. That was my freebie for the day.
I've uh I and plus, if people start really fucking with me, then I can start doing my impressions.
Yes.
Like, if they do if they do sing Mariah Carey, then I'll do Mariah Carey as like Hulk Hogan.
Do it.
Or maybe even Grover from Sesame Street.
I am also okay with this.
Yeah, I kind of learned how to do quite a few of the Sesame Street and Muppet guys. Um, It'd be great to do one as a Swedish chef.
Do Mariah Carey as a Swedish chef. The All I Want for Christmas is You as a Swedish chef.
Oh, I don't know how long that I could carry that on.
I
Um,
don't know either, but it'd be worth it to try.
yeah, it might. It might. Um,
Oh
I could always, I could always Shatner up anything too.
oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
I'm fighting. I'm fighting, Doc. I'm trying. I'm sorry. Every time I blink,
You're at like the
oh,
10. You're at like the 10-minute mark. You're doing good.
I know I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it so hard. You have no idea. Like I went to like blink for a sec, and then I couldn't like just pull my eyes back open. And I'm just like, no, 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 grasp onto. Okay, Doc singing Mariah Carey as Hodor. Can you imagine Hodor? And I started trying to think of what Mariah Carey songs do I even know, and the only one I could think of was the Christmas song.
Well, the one thing that I used to do to try to keep me awake um, was to uh, pinch the skin that's on the bottom of my upper arm,
Yeah.
because that's real sensitive. Hmm.
I mean, I could think of a couple other things I could probably pinch that might be sensitive too.
Oh my!
Yeah.
No,
There we go.
no, it
Get
shouldn't be
that done.
pinching. Should it be? Isn't the proper term flicking?
Oh, there's that one too. I was thinking of a couple of other things a little more north.
Oh, tweakery.
Yeah. Yeah. Not quite the same as like, you know, the tweakery I've done before where I built a fucking chandelier. But no, like, yeah,
Oh,
titties, the nipples.
no, I didn't get the chandelier thing. Uh,
Oh, I've tweaked before. Uh, I was high on methamphetamines and I built a chandelier.
oh, cool. How did it look after you came down?
It was still really cool. The most impressive thing was the fact that it worked.
Well, there you go. Um, I guess I can leave it up because I may have another hour in me. So I don't know if anybody in the chat's bored enough to come on, and we can treat it like guard duty and get you relieved.
I mean, you don't have to do that. Like I'm just I'm getting I'm getting a second wave of the comas because I got a little hour nap in earlier, which was nice because I was just starting a food coma then, and now it's hitting me. It's hitting me again, and I'm just like, this is good timing though because I need sleep because
You know,
I have to work early.
I kind of missed not having family Thanksgiving dinner because my specialty are what everybody normally requests me to make is
Mm-hmm.
cheesy potatoes
Ooh.
because I make kind of like an au gratin style of cheesy potatoes, but I use hash browns or I
Mm-hmm.
use the hash brown mixes instead. Yeah, because that au gratin kind of has that. I don't know what the taste is, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got nothing going on besides working at a junkyard in Croatia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Mark. Oh, I mean, and if anything, Mark, if you come on, you could be the background music again.
Wait a minute, is that the single ladies one that you should have put a ring on it?
Yeah, that's Beyonce.
Okay. And the sad thing was up until like about 2001, I used to do DJ gigs. So you had to stay up on whatever was the latest or most popular. We did a lot of weddings too. Okay, weirdest bridegroom dance song. There's two of them that come to mind. One of them's kind of sweet. It was Metallica, Nothing Else Matters.
Oh, I love that song.
So I thought that was a good one. But then we went to a wedding where the bridegroom dance was Backyard Boogie by Tech Nine,
Oh,
or was it Mac 10? I don't know. They told me it. I looked it up. And it was, people essentially talking about ghetto fucking. And I'm like, oh, isn't that sentimental?
I mean, the only thing that I remembered, because I've been to weddings before, and I mean like the actual like fancy wedding things instead of just like, whatever. But I've been to weddings and like at one of them, they of course did the chicken dance,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. You got to do it.
yeah, and then they did because the other one they did Gangnam Style.
Oi, I there's actually pictures up. I think it's up on my karaoke adventures page that
Hmm.
shows me and a buddy actually doing the Gangnam Style dance. When it was popular and I was bored and before the Strokes, I would get up out of my chair and I'd start doing the Gangnam Style dance
Nice.
because I have the heart of a Soul Train dancer, and that's why my wife forbade me to ever do that dancing around her. But she was cool when I would do slow dancing or do a Tennessee waltz with her.
Well, yeah, because those are different.
Wow, and women think men who can dance are sexy too, or gay, one or the
Yeah,
other.
yeah. Like, but you could usually tell if they're gay with the way that they dance. Like, versus, oh, fuck. Oh, fight the power. Fight the power. God damn it, Kadad. You can fuck stay awake. You just got 3 minutes, you stupid bitch. Ah.
I like that
Okay.
Public Enemy song. Fight the power.
Yeah. You listen to a lot more hip hop than I expected, Duck.
Well, I grew up ghetto, so it was funny. All the black kids were listening to the Commodores and Keith Sweat and Parliament Funkadelic and um, what was the other really good one? One that I enjoyed. Because this was like the '70s, so when we were getting ghettoized. Um, but yeah, I mean that was the one thing I could say about living in the projects is that there was a lot of different music going on, and of course the white kids at the time were all listening to Kiss. So that was some pretty interesting. It was eclectic. My
Mm-hmm.
mom was the kind of person. Um, there was always either music going on in the house or a TV going. But if she played music, she loved Eagles and she loved Elvis. I probably know every Elvis song that was ever created. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of one of those kids that um, I would try to keep my ear out for some good stuff. Like I was turned on to Run DMC very very early. I loved Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I like Melly Mel. Um, it just I like to listen to different music that made my ancient toes a tapping.
Yeah,
And
no, that's just one of the things for me is like, I what's it I've had like my playlists going for my friends before, like, they had me in charge of music and stuff like that, and all they had was CDs and an auxiliary cord, but their phone was dead or some bullshit. I don't remember. But like I've just thrown on my playlist, and it'll go from like um System of a Down into Nicki Minaj into Beethoven into into Disney songs. Like it throws people off how
oh,
eclectic my tastes uh tend to be when
uh,
it comes to music,
I love me some System of a Down.
right?
The most loneliest day of my life. Oh yeah. Um,
Such a lonely day, and it's mine.
here. I'll just give you just a quick rundown. I've got a playlist that I call my pre-show tunes. The stuff that I listen to ramp up and to like sing to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're talking to somebody for 2 hours and wifey is at work, the kid doesn't really bother talking to me unless she wants something, and um, so I'm not speaking, so I pull up this playlist that I have, and I sing along with it to get my vocal cords warmed up. So I have 16 songs on it, and it's "The Show Must Go On" by Pink Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
Devo's "Uncontrollable Urge," Farley's song from the Shock Treatment soundtrack, "Social Disease" by Elton John, "Super Bon Bon" by Soul Coughing, "Love for Sale" by Motorhead, Young MC, "I Come Off," "OK Go," "Needing Getting." Then Tonka actually turned me on to this one. The mashup "Give Me a Bulletproof Dream," where it mixes Rolling Stones, Depeche Mode, and LaRue.
Oh yeah.
Um, the Struts "Kiss This," "Which Way to the Top," "Fastball." Um, uh, Postmodern Jukebox doing their version of Seven Nation Army, and it's
Ooh.
done as Nolan's dirge,
Yeah.
and it's pretty awesome. Jimmy Fallon, The Roots, and Megan Trainor singing "All About That Bass."
Yeah.
Um, Rusted Root, "Lost in a Crowd."
Mhm.
Local H by doing "Cha Said the Kitty," which is an awesome song. I love that song. Um, and then from the Cannibal the Musical soundtrack, "Spadoinkle Day."
Spadoinkle day.
Yeah. The
All right,
sky
hold on.
is blue and all the leaves are green. My heart's as warm as a baked potato. I think you know precisely what I mean when I say it's a spadoinkle day.
All right, hold on. So on one playlist I have All Time Low by John Bellion, The Night Begins to Shine by BER. Um
Burr.
yeah, Let It Go, the male version, um from Disney's Frozen. I of course have Dust in the Wind by Kansas. Um Potter Puppet Pals, The Mysterious Ticking Noise. System of a Down Roulette, Zombie by Cranberries, What's Up by Four Non Blondes, Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I have a Bat Metal video, which is it's what's Mermaider by Death Clock. I Think I'm Paranoid by Garbage. Roman's Revenge by Nicki Minaj. Dark Horse by Katy Perry. Don't Let Me Down by the Chainsmokers. Lana Del Rey's version of Once Upon a Dream. Um, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Uh, Hello Bitches by CL, which is a she's a K-pop person. A cover of Rihanna's Diamonds by Steam Powered Giraffe. Um,
Oh
I
my.
have Melanie Martinez. I have Carousel. I have Cheap Thrills by Sia. I have Wrong Bitch by Todrick Hall, featuring Bob the Drag Queen. I Is that the one with RuPaul? I don't know. I don't know. I got Beyonce. I got the Fox. What does the Fox say?
Oh
That
no!
one.
Stop! Just stop now. Just
I got I got La 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 by I got Naughty Boy by La La La. I got I got the song Carl Papa from uh Bad Lip Readings. I
no,
have
no.
a
I like from Bad Lip Reading. I like the Seagull song. Stop it now.
yeah, yeah.
Rockin',
Uh,
rockin' and rollin'. Down
mhm.
to the beach I'm strolling. Yeah, that song makes me laugh every single time.
I
Uh,
have Voice Avenue's version of Titanium, and I have a song by Dix B, or no, by Seed called Dix B. Like, I got some meditation music. I got some Eminem. I got Panic at the Disco, Dresden Dolls, Tribe, Rihanna, Melanie Martinez, Demi Lovato, Depeche Mode. Uh,
I will
I got some,
disown you if you have Public Image Limited on there anywhere.
huh?
I said I will disown you if you have any Public Image Limited on there.
I don't. I have Iron by Woodkid.
And what do you use this for? Is there a function or purpose or just something to listen to?
Therapy.
Oh, okay. Um,
Music therapy is a thing.
uh, I, I, I usually and on this pre-show mix. Well, honestly, I could put like 8 songs on there, and I don't think I would get through it, just because of the fact that you know, normally I started up. I got the green room up at like an hour before I go on, because I'm dicking around with stuff, because I'm a boomer. And 9 out of 10 times, I'll get through like 3 or 4 songs, and then either the guest or the guest nurse will come in, and so I have to stop. I mean, because you've come on when I've got my music playing.
But I stay quiet so I can listen to you.
Yeah. And it's so funny because some of the songs on there that I picked, I know I can't hit those notes unless I'm drunk. Like
Mhm.
for Wifey tonight, because she likes me to sing to her occasionally. Apparently, it's sexy. Um, I was singing the song "No Vacation for the from the Blues," and I'm like, when it went into the instrumental part, I'm like, listen, there's going to be this part coming up that I can't hit unless I'm drunk. So just get used to it. Know that I am going to fail at this. And it's a really good song. It's like a honky tonk song.
Mhm.
I was in a country mood today. I listened to God damn it, what was that? She Daisy, Lucky for You. Um, I also
I like
listened to, huh?
I like Barton Hollows by the Civil Wars.
I don't know that one
Barton
at all.
Hollow. Oh, I suggest you look it up. Like, it starts off beautifully with a guy and girl harmonizing together.
Well, I kind of like what I have a tendency to call Jerry Springer country.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, I'm proud I got my pickup truck and I got a lot of beer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
I have. I there was there's only like 3 or 4 country songs that like I actually have on my playlist. Although I know I could add more, just because like I know a couple more. But like it was Hank Williams, and then the and Barton Hollow, and then
have you ever heard Hank Williams Jr. the third?
I'm not.
He sounds more like Hank Williams. It's kind of like that's actually Hank Williams' son and not Hank Williams Jr., but Hank Williams the third
Yeah.
plays that kind of like rockabilly.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I should probably put some Skid Roper and Mojo Nixon on there, or some what was it? Wait a minute, yeah, I was listening to a different album. I think when you came in last time, I think I was actually listening to Dead Milkman.
Maybe. But you know what you should totally do right now though?
Let you go.
Well, toss out some links.
I threw out a link to Addie. I threw out a link to Merc.
Yeah. I figured that'd be a good idea because like I feel it, and it's like my body's trying to force me to sleep because it's like, no, you gotta be up like soon, bitch. Like, we're gonna pretend like we know what sleep is.
Well, now let me take a look. Before you go, I was able to figure out that we've had 52 different people on so far.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple that I forgot. There's 2 that I forgot, and then there was 3 on last night that had never been on.
Yeah.
Which I like that. I like bringing people on who have never been on.
Yeah, I tossed out a few links last night. I tossed out a good handful of links,
Well,
actually.
Opal came back twice, by the way.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she never came on, but she came back in the chat twice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Opal's been on before. It was about the same time when like Failure came on.
Yeah.
The only people that I haven't gotten on is probably Broski and Optic, and that's because they're in different mental time zones.
Yeah, they're on normal people's schedule or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, because their gig. I stopped at 9 o'clock. I was talking to an Optic, and I'm like, yeah, we're still going. And I'm like, whoever's left here, I'm gonna push them over to you because I'm done. My ass needs pillow time. Not pillow biting time, because I heard that's a bad thing. He said as there was dead silence.
I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Doc.
Well,
But
I should open up, because guys, I'll probably run for like another hour if anybody wants to come on. Since we have a 10-second delay, let's see. Do we have any volunteers?
yeah.
Hold on for 20 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just a lonely day shouldn't exist.
It's a day that I will miss.
The most loneliest day of my
life.
I can't hit it because it's been a while since I've sang it. The most loneliest day of my life. And then that loud one. The most loneliest day of my life.
Yeah, I can't do things.
You can't do things.
No, thinking is hard.
You know what else is hard?
My dick.
I was going to say granite.
Not to.
Gutter mind.
Of course, it's a cadunt. I'm a cadunt. I do the cadunt things.
The mystical, magical cadant.
Yeah. Mystical, magical, beautiful, wonderful, whatever you got to do.
Well, I can always pull up a karaoke song or two and then just blow through.
Yeah.
Like Jack Mack. Merck had to decline because apparently Kroger's is being invaded right now as we speak.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
I could try and throw links if you wanted.
If you would like to throw out a couple of links before you kiss your pillow, not bite, but kiss.
You kiss it with my teeth.
I will. You do you, boo.
You do you, boo.
You know what? I think.
Wait a minute. Buzz, you suck. I think everybody's fallen to the food coma.
Yeah. I'm gonna have this playing in the background so I get struck.
Oh my.
I'm gonna fight
real quick, check your DMs, Doc.
A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off.
I'm not.
Okay.
Taking their time.
Can you hear this?
I can. It's very low, but I can't hear
I'm
it.
talking to myself at night
wait, I'll get a little
because
more.
I can't forget. Oh, back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my eyes says leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell.
Musical interlude.
Everyone knows about it. Yeah, from the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And I catch you coming round my way. I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you wanna hear, but that's what I'll do. And the feeling coming from my blood says find a
Adamantine. This is Postmodern Jukebox, their version of Seven Nation
I typed it in there.
far from this arbor of forevermore. I'm gonna work the straw or make the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before my Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the stains coming from my legs and from my
It
Yeah.
was beautiful.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And since it's just the two of us again, I want to play you one more song, and it's only 3 minutes long. Are you ready?
Okay.
Sucking like a crack hack, feeling like an 8-track out of whack. All the toes are clucking, don't be sucking and sucking. I don't wanna live it right, and you don't wanna take it back, and I don't wanna be it right, and you don't wanna cat. You don't want a kitty cat. You don't want a kitty cat. You don't want a kitty cat.
Was that the Kit Kat song you were telling me about, Doc?
That's my favorite part of the whole song.
Hmm. Hi, Sparky.
Hi.
Good morning, Sparky. Welcome to the chat. Let me get myself potted back here. There we go.
Can I just say, I enjoyed the song, but I was ever so slightly disappointed it wasn't the fucking pterodactyl.
You know what? I think to play you off, we probably should do that.
Yeah, you play it while I go fall asleep, because
this is that's I would think that would be a more like a what would you call it? A lullaby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's your lullaby.
Ooh.
He is the motherfucking pterodactyl, here to tear you a new asshole. Yes, it's true. He ate 10,000 lightning bugs, kissing his bowels like a million hugs. He shot them all, one phosphorescent light, painting it like Christmas lights. He is the motherfucking pterodactyl, here to tear you a new asshole. Yes, it's true. His plumage is the best in town. All the hoes touch his sexy pteroid bono. Yes, he do. Put the T-Rex to shame. His pussy arms on that pussy frame. Oh, he is the motherfucking pterodactyl, here to tear you a new Yes, it's true. He enjoys his hobbies too. He smokes his pipe, rollerblades, and finds ladies to woo. Oh, yes, it's true. He rode with the Triassic crew. That includes Lycosaurus and Platysaurus too. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He is the motherfucking pterodactyl, here to tear you a new asshole. He is awkward on the floor. His feet are shit and his balance quite poor. He hooked up with a grizzly bear. They made love under the sea everywhere. Yes, that bear, he birthed to a motherfucking pterodactyl, who just might tear you a new. So beware, motherfuckers, beware. He is the motherfucking pterodactyl. He is the motherfucking pterodactyl. Remember him. Remember his song. Remember his tire iron and his enchanting thong. He's the motherfucking pterodactyl.
Now,
Yay.
that's a
And-
classic.
Hi, Mr. LM. Bye, Mr. LM. And yeah, guys. Sparky, you can unmute. What you doing, Sparky?
Well, I was in bed.
Oh well, fuck you. I'm in bed too. I'm gonna crash. I gotta work early and shit.
I gotta walk in 2 hours and 30 minutes.
You son of a bitch. What the fuck you doing?
You said get in.
Yeah, both of you go to bed. God damn.
God damn it. No, we were both trying to fight for this shit like you sons of you bitch you fuck God damn it. God's fucking
And good morning, Mr. LM002.
he did a swipe by. He did a like by.
Oh, I still say good morning, though.
Yeah.
I call them wins I see them.
Yeah, you gotta give me the link to that song you were doing, the I guess White Stripes 7 National Army.
Oh, yeah. The Seven Nation Army, that thing kicks ass.
Yeah, I can't find it, so you gotta
here.
give me the link where I can get it.
I will put it in the site, or put it in the actual chat.
Fuck this.
As long as it's not
with you guys
too
right here
fucking.
with me.
Oh, okay, because it's not too fucking long. There it is. Actually, PMJ's supposed to be coming around here at the beginning of the year, and I'd love to go out and see him. They also do a version of Creep, Radiohead's Creep, but it's like a soulful version. They basically take already established songs, and the guy literally rewrites them to do a specific genre of music. Like they did All About That Bass, but they did it in the Andrews Sisters version.
Ah. Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Oh, the rock one. I think it was after that one.
What, Cha Said the Kitty?
Charles of the Kitty? Alright. I'll look for that one.
Here. I'll throw that one in there too. It's right in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's from I forget what the hell. Local H had like one hit, and then they just basically went into the ether. But yeah, this song was never a hit for him. But god damn it, is it pleasing?
It is. I'm putting in my cool music selections on YouTube.
Yeah, I think if I'm gonna steal Joker's gimmick, that I should probably play shit that he would never play. No, I won't do Jesus at McDonald's, but maybe I might do Elvis's Everywhere. That would be good. I forgot, though, when I'm running OBS, that whatever sound source is coming in from the PC
will play on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have to dick with it. The sound source comes through. It's just, since I'm not using cans, I just have to make sure that my speakers are turned down so I don't get echo.
Or that microphone's muted.
Fuck that. I mean, I just turn mine. I turn mine down to 10, and I usually never get any bounce back. But I've got a backstop on my mic anyway. I got a backstop in the back and a pop filter in the front. So yeah, it kind of blocks the sound. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my OBS today. I was doing my stream, and I opened up Hangouts to let Dunn and a couple of people in to hang out while I was walking. And it's like OBS just turned my microphone volume to what it was to all the way up. And I was redlining on the sound output.
Was there some type of feedback going on?
No, it just I don't know what it was. It changed my adjustments or something for the microphone. I think since I started Hangouts after I already had OBS running, I think it might affect with the sound. Because I usually open up Hangouts then OBS.
Huh. Well,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It was midstream too.
Yeah, I've got them both. Yeah, set up that way because I'll be honest with you, I probably will never ever use Discord as far as it goes for broadcasting. I find it way too unpredictable. It fucks with me every single time I go into it.
Yep. It's just. Well, I also use a couple different things too. I know John Doe's gonna yell at me for this, but I still use Voice Meter to filter in my sounds for like Hangouts and YouTube, all the other stuff through OBS.
Oh,
So
I have no idea what the fuck I'm ever doing. So, oh hey, wait a minute, Kadant, why are you still here?
because she fell asleep on the phone.
Okay, well I'll play this for her then, so it'll follow her into her dreams.
Another head hangs lowly. Child is slowly taken. The violence it causes silence. But who are we mistaken? There you see, it's not me. It's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs, and air bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, in your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What is in your head? In your head, ooh, zombie, zombie, zombie.
Okay, well now that we're getting soulful, I should really play this one. Now this one's kind of a tearjerker, so I hope that you all can hold together. It's only a 3-minute song, but I think I think you'll all be changed people out there in the audience after hearing this. It will move you.
That's a big 10 4 10 4 what it is. I like big tits. What it is. I like big tits. Tits. Well, they come in twos. Hard to choose your favorite tit. I like tits for dinner, for a noontime snack. I like tits for lunch, a big tit attack. I like tits for breakfast.
Eggs Benedict.
What it is, they're where it's at. Tits. They give me shivers when they bounce around, puckered up or dragging on the ground. I like those tits. Tits. Says it all for me. Tits. I'm a tit man. I'm a tit man. I like tits. Me too. Tits. They give me fear. I like big tits.
So yes, that was Joe Walsh with ILBTs. And of course, I have a story behind this. I used to do when back in the day when they only had radio and no television. When I was in high school, we had a radio station at our high school, and this was the first song that got me kicked off. Apparently, you can't play that on a high school station, even though we had the album. I thought everything was fair game. The second time I got kicked off was we did a game show called Name That Sound, and we were doing bong hits in the radio station. So all you could hear was. It's like, coming up next is Pink Floyd.
That's a the way you get kicked off, huh?
I only got kicked off 4 times. But the guy who ran the radio station, really, he confided in me years later. He's like, that shit you did was funny. But I had to kick you off.
Yeah, it's weird on how some of that shit plays out.
Well, I thought it was funny because he was like, "Well, I'll be completely honest with you. Um, you're pretty much the only show that I listen to when I'm not here on the premises." And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's to make sure that we're not doing goofy shit." And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit of that too, but you're pretty entertaining." Instead of just playing records, we used to do. I had this big book of rock and roll, which went away, and I don't think I'll ever be able to find again. But it was like about 400 pages, and it had breakdowns on bands. And we'd pick a band, and then when we'd get to a certain part in it where it mentioned an album or a song, we'd stop and we'd play that song, and then we'd go back into it. Because, they were only like 2-hour shifts because it's, high school.
Mm-hmm. You had to go to class sometime.
Well, yeah, most of the time when we were doing it, the radio station went from an hour before school. So it was like, they started at, I think it was 6. I don't know. I was never up that fucking early. I was the kind of person who barely got to homeroom in time. But it went from like 6 in the morning until I think it was 10 at night, maybe 9. But we do the back end. We'd play the last 2 hours. And yeah, gaming and yelling. I don't know if you've hooked up with any of their recent stuff, but I don't know. All their old stuff is great. I don't know if they're becoming repetitive or not, but the guy who essentially rescores everything, dude's brilliant. And like I was saying, Postmodern Jukebox is going to be here around town. And by that, since, I live in a little speck, but, as long as it's an hour away, they're going to be here, I think, in February or March. And tickets aren't too unreasonable. I think they're like 35 or something. And from what I hear, they've got like a 2-hour show. It's almost like a USO show, because Postmodern Jukebox doesn't have the same singers for everything. They've got a battery of singers. Just counting off the top of my head, I can think of 6. And they break it up. It's almost Broadway, but just the diversity of the artists that they pick. Some of them I think are kind of duds, but most of them I really like. Especially I love, and I don't know why, but I always have. I love like the 20s music and the swing music. And yeah, I wish they'd do more of that Nolans dirge style, because I thought that Seven Nation Army was just kick ass. Usually they do mostly like 20s, 30s, 40s, and I am completely okay with that. Really? They did a 20s version of Baby Metal's Gimme Chocolate. Oh my. And apparently they did a 60s Tom Jones style cover of Shaggy's It Wasn't Me. What? Ugh. Yeah, there's Yeah, Puddles did a version of All the Small Things. And that one was pretty interesting. Now, if I remember correctly, didn't and tell me if I'm right on this, gaming and yelling, Puddles actually made it on to America's Got Talent. I think he did. I know Haley Reinhart. Well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that. Oh, damn it! Haley Lynn Reinhart was on maybe America's Got Talent or The Voice, one of those. Oh, yeah, the Royals version. The guy's got a smooth voice, man. No doubt about it. Although, I don't know if he wears the clown gimmick just to make himself feel a little more comfortable with doing what he's doing. But, I mean, the gimmick to me is just so counterintuitive to the music that he's able to produce. Let me see.
Well, dog, I know Cadunt got me in here to help keep you awake, but I really do gotta go.
Oh, brother, crash and burn, man. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
thanks for having me on. Thanks for stopping by today and watching my stream. That means a lot, and I do appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, brother. I try to learn something new every day, although I forget 3 things every day. So.
I learned an important lesson, and I let the mod know that probably need to check the damn connector before you put the mod on, because that board is a pain in the ass to remove. Hang on, I actually got here. I'll show you what it looks like real quick after it's removed. Come on.
Well, we're on the small screen, but at least I can see it.
Come on.
So what happened to it?
There it goes. When I was going through, I got all soldered on. The instructions said to go through and test for pin-to-pin shorts to make sure I didn't have any solder bridges. I went through and tested it, and I had one pin that was shorted to ground. And I tried and looked, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I got a hold of mod creator. They said no, it's not supposed to be shorted to ground on that pin. And the best one I could come up with was either bridged underneath or bridged in the connector. So I had to remove the board. And you can't remove this board without damaging it, because there's so many solder points on it that's soldered. You got heat the entire board up. So I basically barbecued the board.
Puddles.
But
nice to meet you, Puddles.
The guy who made the mods sending me another board for free. Cool. Yeah. He said he's got plenty of these boards in stock because it's a common thing that happens.
Huh. Well, that kind of sucks. You'd think if it was common, then they'd fix that shit.
It's common. That's the reason why it's considered an advanced installation. And advanced modders are the only ones that should be doing this mod, which I'm not an advanced modder. I'm still a novice myself. So my fault for jumping head first into that. But there's no real good way to do this. So that's the reason why it's labeled that way.
Well, you got to figure it. You got to figure out how to do it to get to that plateau, I would guess.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah. But I gotta get going. Again, thanks for having me on, Doc. I hope you have the good rest of your stream, and have a good night.
You too. Thanks for showing up, Sparky.
Yep. Night.
Okay. Well, you know what, gaming? I will go ahead and play this.
Party girl, don't get hurt, can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down, I push it down. I'm the one for a good time call, phones blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, I feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw 'em back till I lose count. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, the chandelier. I'm gonna live like tomorrow doesn't exist, like it doesn't exist. I'm gonna fly like a bird through the night, feel my tears as they dry. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier. I'm just holding on for dear life. I won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass filling till morning light. 'Cause I'm just holding on for dear life. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life. I won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass filling till morning light. 'Cause I'm just holding on for dear life. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life. Won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass filling till morning light. 'Cause I'm just holding on for dear life. Help me, I'm holding on for dear life. Won't look down, won't open my eyes. Keep my glass filling till morning light.
Wowzers.
You did so good!
He seemed to be happy there. Yeah, that's Puddle's Pity Party. He's one of the featured singers for Postmodern Jukebox too. Yeah, if they were a wrestling stable, they would probably be the most powerful, running roughshod over everybody else. I don't know. Some of the stuff, like I was saying, PMJ is just brilliant in some of that. And, well, most of it. Matter of fact, I think they made, America's Got Talent or The Voice, one or the other, got put on the shit list by PMJ because they legitimately stole the arrangement that the guy who created PMJ, they stole his arrangement for Creep, and they did it. Is it The Voice? I forget. It's the one that ends up selling soundtracks of stuff, and they went to sell the soundtrack, and legitimately, it was one of those. We're going to litigate unless you give us credit for it, because they really did steal his arrangement and use it. Okay. Well, let's see. By the way, I'll be celebrating this stream because it'll be only the second stream that is going to get copyright claimed. And they're going to take all the money from it. Well, you just take away. You take it all away, partner. Because I'm not going to be monetized for quite a long time. And I couldn't care less. It makes no difference to me. Or, as the band Bread used to say, it don't matter to me. Yeah. I like that old stuff, but then again, I am kind of old. Although some of the singer-songwriter stuff really, really gets on my last nerves. Let's see here. It is 5 o'clock. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut it so I can go snuggle with my baby. Yeah. I'll probably put up a Twitter post to see what you guys think about how I should run me birthday. And hopefully, there we go. And hopefully, we'll come up with something that's definitely going to be fun to do. Specifically, something that's going to facilitate me to drink and sing for my birthday. Because I will kid you not, if I'm ever okay, I'll share this much. Normally, when it's my birthday, I will try to find a place to go out to drink and sing karaoke. And normally, I'll invite my IRL friends out. And it's not just because they usually feel obligated to buy me a drink, but because most of my friends can sing. Some not so good, some good, but all of them really have a good time doing it. And that specifically is about, yeah, I mean, that's what karaoke is about. I mean, you do not have to be the greatest voice in the world as long as you're having the best time that you can have. And I've never seen anybody get booed off the stage who was passionate about what they were doing. Usually it's the real drunk assholes that, pick a song that's too fast for them and they can't keep up with the lyrics. And they stay like 3 or 4 lines behind the actual song and it drives everybody nuts. Well, John Doe, I spent a lot of time personally because my birthday was the 24th. My family used to get together on the 24th. So my birthday became kind of an afterthought. So I really didn't celebrate birthdays that much. But as I got older, my birthday is essentially something to give me an excuse to go do something. Because I can pull the "it's my birthday" card and I can go out and do karaoke. Because I don't get out very often. I don't drive either. After the strokes, you kind of have a tendency to get your driver's license yanked when you have poor depth perception. So that's my one time when it's like, you've got to do it because it's my birthday. Only leverage that I got. So that's legitimately the only reason why I celebrate my birthday. And I'll share a little bit. My ritual for my birthday. I will, and I've done this pretty much since I was about maybe 8 or 9 years old. I will ask for my birthday cake to be an uniced plain angel food cake. And I'll get a big glass of milk. I'll get that angel food cake. And usually I have a stack of, usually I had a stack of comic books. Nowadays it usually ends up to be something like a graphic novel. But I ended up with that. I'd go into my room And I would just sit there and eat the angel food cake, drink the milk, and read me some comic books. That was pretty much, that's pretty much the deuce for me. And I think I carried the ritual until maybe a few years ago. And then I just decided to drop it. What do you want, Cat? Go on about your business. No, go on about your business. But yeah, I am fulfilled because I can run out and do some karaoke. I love to make a joyful noise. Well, it's funny. A friend of mine had a car for cheap, or it was a van. Had a van for cheap, and I had a van that my dad gave me. And when they ganked my DL, I traded for this van. Well, I sold the van that my dad gave me. It was a pretty good van. It was one of those econo van conversions. I mean, everything was electric. Like the bench seat was, you flip a switch, it goes down into a bed. It had lighting all around it. It had additional plug-ins. So you legit could like plug in something like a mini fridge and have it in the van. So yeah, it was pretty good. And the van was in good shape, but the van was too big. So sold that one. Bought another van because, of course, wifey still needed to get back and forth to work. And for her birthday, I just signed it over to her. So, yeah, I don't have a vehicle anymore. Did it also have candy? It was funny. There were little coveys next to the seats. And they probably were like ashtrays before, but that's where I used to drop in like a roll of Lifesavers and a tin of dip. So it had candy for me. Little kids can go and get their own damn candy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this. Put this puppy to rest. And we will say thank you very much. We had one guest this evening, and that was Sparky's Tech Corner. His name is still there in the chat. If you want to go check him out, he's a pretty good tech guy. So if that kind of thing enthralls you or interests you, go ahead, go over and give him a like, give him a sub, make the bell ring if you want to. And of course, I'd like to thank my magical, mystical co-host, Kadant. She was very brave this evening and stayed up longer than she should have. And I'd like to thank everybody who showed up in the audience to watch this steaming pile of overnight entertainment. And, well, this is Doc Griffin thanking everybody for coming out, hoping that your Black Friday is filled with the type of schadenfreude that makes you smile. And if y'all do me just one more favor, just leave the money on the nightstand. Good night.